and compliant, and that the appeals authority should consider the approval of the application. The assertion that the application is not in the public interest, this is reason number 2, is not in the public interest is beyond the provisions of the Section 36 of LUPA, which requires that an application is assessed in terms of its impact on the natural and built environment, the impact on safety and welfare, and the impact on existing rights. As such, the refusal of the application on the basis of it not being in the public interest is unlawful. Notwithstanding the above, the fact that the provincial government approved the application for the amendment of title deed conditions relating to this subject application highlights the fact that the application is in fact in the public interest. This is due to the Removal of Restriction Act, which requires that an application may only be approved where it is found to be in the public interest. The streetscape is formed by existing approved structures, notably the approved balcony and pergola already there. The enclosure of this balcony to the north and east limits the impact of wind on the balcony and improves the enjoyment and utilization thereof, thus increasing surveillance over the street more often and for longer periods, which are considered to be in public interest as it activates the streetscape, resulting in positive overlooking features, which in turn provide safer public streets and public realms. Therefore, the Subcouncil's assessment that it is not in the public interest due to the impact on the streetscape is fundamentally flawed and should be set aside by the Appeals Authority. Our reasons for the upholding of the appeal. There is no impact on the character of the area anticipated, considering the existing rights and the sizes of the properties in the area. Also, it has been shown that the proposal will be in line with the context of the surrounding area. The existing rights of the surrounding properties will not be negatively impacted on as a result of this application, especially considering the minor nature of this proposal and the existing approved balcony at this position. The scale, design, and building mass is in keeping with the area and will contribute positively to the area in terms of surveillance on the streetscape, and no additional impact on the surrounding properties is anticipated. It has been shown that the proposed development is in compliance with Section 36 of the Land Use Planning Ordinance in terms of the criteria defined for determining desirability, and therefore the General Appeals Committee should support this application. It has been proven that the proposed development would not negatively impact on Berkeley Road and that the development is desirable. It is respectfully requested that the General Appeals Committee overturn the Subcouncil's decision to refuse the departure in respect of the first floor balcony being enclosed and granted departures. In conclusion, it is submitted that the reasons for the decision of Subcouncil are beyond the provisions of Section 36 of the Land Use Planning Ordinance. All reasons cited for the refusal as attached in the minutes of the Subcouncil 16 has been disproved, and therefore the Appeals Committee should uphold the appeal and approve the application for departure. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So, any questions? Councillor Ramsey?
Yeah, in this case, I believe that densification is in keeping with the area and would agree that it is a good idea. I am concerned, however, about illegal building and then retroactively seeking legislation. But having said that, the balcony was actually approved in 2005 with a 0-meter setback from Berkeley Road. And then it seems that council must have overlooked, when they approved the pergola over the balcony, they must have overlooked the 4.5-meter setback restriction from Berkeley Road. So I am in support of this.
You're not in support?
I am.
You are in support of the application of appeal?
Okay, let me rephrase.
Yeah, please.
Let me rephrase. I'm conflicted, because on the one hand I'm concerned about illegal building and then retroactively seeking legislation. However, I believe that council was also responsible in that they approved the balcony of 2005 with 0 meter setback, and then approved the pergola. So it seems that it's difficult to now say, okay, having already approved a 0 meter setback, that it's not such a good idea anymore. Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Ramsey, if we look at the professional people, and we look at page 7 to 9 of our documentation, and we see that a professional person is in this council, and they say 9.1 on bullet point 9.1, that the application and departures are set out on Annexure A of this point is be approved. Now, I don't think professional people will do things that's illegal. And you must also know that one of the reasons why this committee is here is to regularize certain issues, and which could not be, which might not be irregular, so that is which might be irregular. So that is why one of the reasons why we are here. People come and call on assistance here, and that is also a corner that we must protect on this committee. And then on the other hand, it looks like on page 775, if you look at the 4 bullet points there, the applicant has used each property to justify the other. I don't know who came to that conclusion. Did they talk to the owner? I'm not asking you to protect that, but that is one of the things that I've got a concern about. Yes?
Speaker, I think Councillor Anstey knows the owner. I'm not sure though.
He knows the owner. Okay. Well, councillors, is there any questions? Councillor Hendricks?
Yeah, I'm not here to defend the decision in 2005 not to ask for a 4.5 setback, but can anyone help me to say that if there was a 4.5 setback restriction on a pergola, how much would have been left?
Can I answer this? Sorry, the plan was approved in 2005 for the balcony,
Yeah.
right? So the balcony required setbacks in terms of the old scheme. In terms of the old scheme in 2005, a pergola was excluded from setbacks. So that's the reason, and Juliette can probably back me on this, but that was the reason why the pergola didn't require a departure. So the balcony was approved there, and then the pergola was just a compliant plan to add the pergola on top of the balcony, but you didn't need a land use approval in terms of zoning scheme.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, I think that's clear. Thank you for your time.
Pergolas, hy plankies dat jy oor die so
Bettings in onze
So die councillors sê dat hulle het 'n mistake gemaak, maar ons sê hulle sien nodig vir 'n 4.5 setback vir 'n pergola.
zeker ja, zo misschien. Dat ze introduceren, ze contradicten zichzelf.
Yeah, she's supportive, but why is she here? She's been sent. And that is the stuff we must look into, that the older council is not misused the novices. Okay, are you ready to decide on this issue? This is a straightforward one, there's no conditions or whatever. From my side, I hold the appeal, Councillor Woodley.
So Woodley uphold the appeal and support the recommendation of 729.
Thank you.
Councillor Boy uphold the appeal, supporting the condition of 729.
Councillor Mahangu uphold the appeal with the recommendations on page 729.
Thank you.
And again, uphold the appeal on condition of
Councillor Bazir.
Councillor Bazir, uphold the appeal.
Councillor Hendricks uphold the appeal with a comment that the resident must improve the enjoyment of the property.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Then the appeal has been upheld. Now we're going to over to the liquor trading hours. Timothy, before we start with the liquor trading hours, we must please understand clear that some of this liquor trading hours was in place, and it's a certain right that the people had. Then the Western Cape legislature made a new law and say people must now apply annually for their liquor licenses, and then as soon as you reapply, then the old liquor license with all the rights fall away. And some of this people and on the liquor hours, keep in mind the following. As employed people, and I'm going to take an example, for example, chain stores. Let us talk about Pick n Pay. They have all the parking in the world. They are in a big shopping center. They have this right. They employ people for the extra hours, for example, and those people are there now. Now they reapply for their licenses. The political structure of which we handle the appeal is decline the application for extended hours, and they dismiss it, and they come here to us. And the reasons they give sometimes is that there is a school or a church in the area or whatever it is. They are fishing for reasons. And I think, apply your mind, be fair, and consider all the factors and make your decision. What do we do with those people if today our decisions here have set a situation where only one person gets a job, we've done well. If persons come here with extending the height of a building, for example, they want to take it from 3 stories to 7 stories, at least 4 people are going to get cleaning jobs, at least. Those factors, to me, weighs a lot. And if the professionals comes and they say it's within law, it's within legislation, that type of thing. So we haven't had a breakaway for a workshop, which we should have, where we can interact and talk to each other and see if we are not on the same page necessary, but that we understand what we are deciding on the right type of thing. Because it's important that each and every individual decides for himself. There's no political party around this table, there's individuals here. And that is Councillor Hendricks.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Chairman, and I look forward to the workshop that you alluded to. And I also respect your view that these people have what we call grandfather rights. But at the same time, it is becoming, the grandfather rights is becoming more and more contra bonus, more because of the effort of the country to reduce alcohol harm, and the benefits of the grandfather rights is trumped by the fact that South Africa as a country compared to the rest of the world, because of increasing alcohol trading hours, we find that the country is suffering. So that also needs to be taken into account. So uh, uh, uh,